Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best, cutting edge, recent, well thought through, and interesting and fascinating, even for me sometimes, brain body tools so you could take better control of your thoughts, of your emotions, and most importantly, of your actions so you could shape exact life experience or as close to it as possible as you absolutely love or would love living. Guys, so just thought to myself, sometimes I surprise myself with what's going through my mind. You learn, you absorb books, you listen to podcasts, listen to people, and then your brain somehow just puts it all together in something that you wouldn't expect. And for me, that is some magical stuff that always blows my mind. Like before recording this podcast, I thought to myself, I had this thought, oh, it's hard. Maybe I should delay it, or maybe, it's Sunday, I should do something else. And then I thought to myself, Angela, showing up is hard, but so is losing your talents to the oblivion. And I thought to myself, oh, that is actually good. How did that come out? But the thing is, folks, if you are struggling sometimes with coming up with ideas or solutions, or you can't figure something out, the best way to figure it out when you are stuck, actually to let go the figuring out part and instead go and explore more and get curious and read more and listen to more. And sometimes it's not even related, but you have a gut feeling like, that is interesting. That sounds fascinating. That is something I'd like to explore. And once you let go of the need to get the answer, the solution right now, you give your brain a permission to work on it on the background, doing the heavy lifting, connecting a lot more dots, a lot more points of your experience and your memory. And then also usually a lot of that happens during sleep. And then at some point your brain will spit out the best possible solution that it can come up with. And often you'd be surprised how unique and unexpected the answer might be. But anyhow, so showing up, guys, I'm not here to say that doing your best at taking care of yourself or working on delivering your best possible work yet, or building yourself up and growing yourself up into some vision of yourself that you are inspired by. Like, it's not easy. But guys, it's like this old saying, choose your heart. Having the life that you know is only a fraction of you could be living is also hard. So what's harder for you? And once you start engaging with the pursuit of life that you truly desire, you'll actually start enjoying the hard as well. You will start loving the game, and that's where you'll become unstoppable. And I think I'm now getting in the space of really loving the hard part and getting better and not chasing some goals, not really, even though I love my goals, but instead leaning into each moment and working on this question or this pursuit of how can I get a tiny bit better today? How can I work on the skill that I want to be world class at? How can I just lean into practice, into doing and try to do better than I did last time? And that feeling of progress, of getting better, once you get hooked on that, there is literally nothing stopping you from getting everything you want, which is usually a side effect of the work done Well, our world is full of hacks and tips and tactics, and it makes you feel sometimes that the rest of the world has it easy. But when you look at people who actually create something innovative, who deliver amazing quality, who you are just inspired by, they did not take the shortcuts. They did the hard work, because one thing you cannot fake is mastery. Being masterful in something, you cannot hack yourself way into that. You actually gotta work on it. It's like becoming an Olympic athlete. Yeah, with all the biohacks and tactics, you still have to show up for years to train your skill in order to get to the Olympic stage. And the same with most of the things, with most of the people you admire for something. They put enormous amount of work towards becoming good and admired. So remember that. And that actually leads us towards the main topic of our podcast. Remember that when you're spending your time searching for shortcuts, for hacks, for tactics, while you are doing that, you are not working on your skills. You cannot be doing two things simultaneously. With all the multitasking neuroscience proves, we are not able of doing that. We can run one thing, habitual thing on autopilot, like walking, while doing something with more conscious control, but we are not really capable of multitasking, in a sense that two complex tasks, doing them at the same time, never gonna happen. Well, at least till somebody figures out how to make our human brain work in a completely different way from what it does now. But back to this idea, guys, of investment of your time and attention. While you are choosing to pursue the easy way, and again, there is no easy way to mastery. Let's just land into this idea. Mastery, great results, becoming amazing at anything will require hard work. So cut the chase and start the work earlier. There is this also saying, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The next best is now. So if you want mastery, if you want great results, if you want to be extraordinary, so the next best time to start working on that is today, right now, right after you finish listening to this podcast. Back to attention and focus and your energy. Let me share with you a quote that I heard while listening to a podcast by Alex Hormozy, the podcast, like it's 3 hours something podcast on sales, like mind blowing. It's like a course on sales. I've never gotten psychology of sales, the scripts, the tactics, all the best stuff just put in 3.5 hours. I'm listening and re-listening. It's so worth it. But there was one phrase that really stuck out to me today, and that was, people avoid making tough decisions because they're afraid of mistakes. They'd rather let life decide so they have someone else to blame in case it doesn't work out. And yesterday I also had a client, and while talking about different things we could do to improve her commitment to her goals and plans and results, she said this phrase when I proposed to start planning her days and writing them down in planner, a diary, whatever works best for her. And she said, Angela, I guess I didn't want to do daily planning because I was afraid of taking responsibility for how my days unfold. When I don't do that, it's kind of just happens. And you don't have anyone to blame. You let yourself off the hook. It's like, well, I did not plan anything and this happened, so I don't have anyone to blame but life circumstancing and other people. And that always feels a lot more comfortable when we can blame someone. But the sad part about that, guys, when you blame someone for not giving you the life you want, you also give them the control, and you take yourself out of driver's seat where you could actually change stuff take action to create the life you want. You're giving away control of your life to someone else by blaming that someone for the things that you don't have, for the life that you don't have. Back to making decisions. And I thought to myself, perhaps I'm still holding myself back by not making the tough decisions that I need to make to build the next level of my life, the life that I'm living in my head. Maybe I'm not making those tough decisions. It's like this phrase, we found the problem and it's us. So that landed on me when I was listening to this podcast episode on sales. I'm like, where am I not making the decisions that I need to make to stop making excuses for not having something, like not having certain financial abundance, which will allow me to, for example, bring my parents to visit me wherever in the world I am at whatever time the heck I want, or not spending time with the friends that truly inspire me by what they achieved, because, well, they're existing on a different level when it comes to spending travels and opportunities, right? Like, where am I not making decisions and not putting actions in place which allow me to be on that level where I actually want to be? Being here is, it's fun, but it's not satisfying. And even though I'm extremely grateful for what I have, but I also know that it is not what I'm capable of. So back to the pain, right? Do you choose the pain of showing up or the pain of losing your talents to the oblivion and time? And the time is running out as I'm speaking. And then what does it have to do with attention and focus and mastery and hacks? Just like I mentioned before, when you're spending time thinking about hacks, tips, tactics, and shortcuts, you're not spending your time figuring out how to get a lot better at something that you love, that you can be masterful at, that can bring you the level of income and impact that you want. You cannot, again, invest your time and attention in both simultaneously. So if you spend your time with friends, if you choose to spend your time with friends who aren't helping you grow, you're missing the time with those who will. If you focus on saving money, a lot of your energy and attention, you're not thinking about how to make more. If you're focused on trying to avoid problems, you're not learning how to solve bigger problems to get to bigger stage in your life. So by choosing to spend your time in the status quo, you're not working on your next level, and you cannot have both. In order to get somewhere different, you actually have to do something different, and you got to spend your focus, attention, and energy there, which you're not spending while you're doing the old stuff that brought you here. Another fun thing that I heard from Alex Hermodi that I thought was genius, because I could so relate to that as someone who spent quite a lot of their time in nutrition and health and weight loss coaching. Alex shared, like, when he worked in weight loss, that people would come to him and look at the programs that he would give to them and would say, well, I like the program, but breakfast, can we make it more like the breakfast I like? And Alex would say, this breakfast got you the body that you have now and the health that you have now, the result that you have now. So why would you want to have the same breakfast? Like, the change got to change, right? The things that you're doing right now brought you where you are right now. So if you think about that, if you want something different, you got to do something different. Not just think something different, but also do something different. Your day has to look different. Your routine has to look different. The words you say have to be different. The energy you bring to the table has to be different, because what you are now got you what you have now. And if you want to have something different, then you got to change what you have in life at the moment. And it starts with your actions, people you spend your time with, books you read. Something that I wrote in my blog today. It means cutting Netflix time and investing it in learning from people who have the future you want. It means cutting off low aspiration friends who just don't want, for whichever reason, more from their life. Like, it's not about judgment, it's just about reality. If somebody doesn't have your goals, do not spend time with them, because then you absorb the way they live and you're gonna be stuck exactly where you are. It means cutting off draining emotions and thoughts and words and nurturing the ones that fuel your growth. It's literally, with a lot of my clients, what we work on is this internal dialogue. What are you telling yourself that makes you feel in a way that makes you take a certain action so you create the life that you don't want? It all also starts with thinking. This question I also propose to start using more to my clients. Whenever you find a thought that leads you to actions that you don't want to take, because it builds the life that you don't want to live, whenever you hear that thought in your head, you ask yourself, is this serving me? And you can choose your thoughts. So if it's not serving you, you can change it. You can flip it around. You can rework it. You can reframe it and look at this thought, at this idea from a different point of view, different perspective. The human mind is such an amazing machine. You can believe anything. And the most important thing, if it's serving your goals, the ones that you want to build, that's the only thing that's important. The truth, not truth, there are very few things in life that are fundamental truths. Most of the things that we operate on are beliefs and shortcuts that served our survival in the environment that we are right now. They are not some, again, facts and truths that just are and unquestionable and undoubtful. So to cut the long story short, the main idea of today's podcast, folks, is when you are investing your time, your energy, your focus into the old stuff, the stuff that brought you here, there is this phrase actually, what got you here won't get you there. So that's exactly that. So in order to have different outcomes, goals, body, health, business, relationships, guess what you got to do? Do different things. Now, you might not always know what exactly you got to do from the get-go, but just do different things. Shake up your routine. Change your schedule. Redesign your social circle, or at least create the vacuum that allows new stuff to come in. And by creating the vacuum, I mean, stop being the friends who don't have the aspirations that you have. Stop spending your energy on shows, on music, on social media that brought you where you are today. Just cut it all out, create vacuum, and then think about what you want to put there that will grow the next level of you and the kind of life that you absolutely love living. Trim the fat. You need broccoli. That was something I used at the end of my newsletter, to which you can sign up so you don't miss a lot of the insights that go into my daily newsletter. So sign up to this daily email that your future self will thank you for using the link in the show notes. Yeah, the main question and thought of the day. Where are you spending your time, energy, and attention that is not bringing you the future you and future life you want? And start redesigning. That's it for today, guys. I hope you found this podcast useful and insightful, and something that made you stop and reconsider things. And although actions matter the most, but it all starts with this idea, with a thought, with a question that makes you reconsider what you do now and change it into something else that hopefully will build the future that you'd like to be living more. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, guys, to share if you care and you want to help more people to live their most awesome, audacious, inspiring life. So share this podcast episode with that one person who you wish to be like just the boldest, brightest, most amazing self. And till next time, think about that. Where are you investing your time, which is not building the life you want? Out and over. Talk to you very soon.